Hollywood is reacting to a weak summer box office. Another San Diego Comic-Con has come and gone. President Trump took some time out during a speech. Bosk, IG-88, Forlock, Zuckus.
Hello everybody, welcome to Cautiously Poptimistic, the pop culture news comedy show. I'm Dave Columbo. Let's have some fun. Our first story, sexual harassment! The last few months, popular culture has been rocked by sexual harassment scandals, and I get it. A guy's thoughts on sexual harassment is like Yosemite Sam's thoughts on cultural stereotypes, or Wile E. Coyote's on fiscal responsibility, or Pepe Le Pew's on sexual harassment. But all of my ex-girlfriends say that it's pretty easy to forget I have a penis, so here we go. It's been a strange few months, but I think we're coping pretty well, right? Take a look outside. Most of us are going about our lives like we aren't getting daily push notifications about Matt Lauer's crotch. Some are saying that we should have seen this all coming, which I think is easy when you point to a guy who built his 30-year career talking about his penis. But what about the guy who built his 30-year career talking about literally everything but his penis? And you'd be forgiven if you forgot about Charlie Rose completely, since he was 4 days before Al Franken, the same day as John Conyers, the day before John Lasseter, and 2 days before Nick Carter. At some point, we're going to need some kind of terrible pervert of the day calendar just to keep up to date. And as for Hollywood, it is a sad testament to how disposable the entertainment industry really is. One second you're getting $9 million for your hit TV show, and the next Christopher Plummer is in your dressing room, wearing your suit, eating your hard pretzels. Soon Hollywood's gonna start hedging its bets. Coming this summer, The Defense Rests, likely starring Al Pacino. No disrespect if it turns out he's fine, but we filmed his scene separately with a green screen just to cover our bases. And if there is one bright side, it's that eventually when they do turn this into a movie, there may be no male actors left, which means, say it with me now, Meryl Streep as Harvey Weinstein. A woman who can pull off anything as the asshole who wanted to pull off everything. But right now, there's really only one person who comes out on top in this entire story, and that's whoever takes the pictures of apologetic-looking celebrities.
When a famous person has indigestion or notices that their shoes are untied, I'll capture the moment in case one day you need a photo of them looking sullen. I've got out-of-context photos for all your celebrity needs. Somebody asked Anthony Hopkins a stupid question, but it also works if tomorrow we find out he doesn't respect women's boundaries. Looks like Hannibal Lecter wasn't the real monster. Dustin Lindsay Lohan's eye, perfect for her next DUI sentencing. Oh, she's having another Freaky Friday. Here's Elton John dealing with allergies, but it'll double nicely if his piano ever falls into a crowd and crushes his fans. He's right, sad songs do say so much. That's not all. Right now I've got a special liquidation sale. I'm overstocked on Kanye West staring off like he's contemplating his own mortality. So come in today, and remember, when a star is about to sneeze, use that picture as you please.
Gamers are livid at publisher EA after the release of Star Wars Battlefront 2, a game that heavily incentivizes microtransactions in which players can pay real money to have a higher chance to unlock characters and powers faster than the slow in-game upgrade system. Now, I get the frustration, but can we agree that if you've ever said, "It is bullshit that I can't play as Darth Vader yet," congratulations, your life has been pretty chill so far. Also, by now, we should all be used to people with disposable income having an unfair advantage, as that's kind of also how it happens in the real world. And look, I'm guilty too of getting upset when my inner fanboy isn't satiated. It's no coincidence I started losing my hair when they started releasing X-Men movies. But really, do you think you're owed a good Star Wars game? According to George Lucas, you're not even owed good Star Wars movies. And this isn't even a new experience. It's a sequel to a game from 2015, and if you see a huge improvement here in the character models over 2 years, joke's on you, it's actually the other way around. Actually, just kidding, they're both from the first game. Just keep some perspective. Sure, it sucks that it takes hours of leveling up to play as your favorite character, but it used to take hours of blowing to play the game. Some people are mad because they didn't know about this before they pre-ordered the game, but if you decided to prematurely give your money to who is consistently voted the worst company in America, maybe the problem isn't microtransactions, but Stockholm Syndrome. But whether or not I think the backlash is warranted, it did seem to work. Even after EA changed the in-game system, the negativity caused the game to underperform, though it was still second best-selling game of November, beating both Assassin's Creed and Mario. So technically we only succeeded in making them rich slower than they predicted. This is my only point. When a game screws you over, you actually do have options besides screaming at the company. I bought another EA monstrosity, Mass Effect Andromeda. I failed to cobble together a fun experience. I went back to GameStop, traded it in for a criminally low $15, but that was enough to buy a copy of the first season of MASH, and then I had a way better night. Better plot, funnier, and best of all, Alan Alda doesn't look like you asked me to draw my old college RA's face from memory. The FCC has voted to end net neutrality, and let me say, like everybody else, I'm upset. Really, ISPs, I'm supposed to take your word that you're just not gonna jerk me around? Okay, why don't you tell me again about that 6-minute window you've scheduled to come install my cable? But if I could play devil's advocate for just a second, did anybody else have trouble finding a genuine debate on this issue? It seemed like nerds like me on one side screaming, "Pry my bandwidth from my cold, clammy hands," and on the other side, Ajit Pai, our favorite human bobblehead who was just too easy of a target since he looks more like a New Yorker cartoon than his New Yorker cartoon. A former FCC commissioner made some pretty practical and level-headed points against net neutrality in a video that I barely found since it went viral as MSNBC host gets angry while badly losing net neutrality debate, which is the worst framing of an issue since that famous headline, "Moon fails to repel man." And is it okay to say that while I agree with the sentiment defending net neutrality, I don't agree with our arguments? I didn't like the argument that the internet should flow like a highway. First of all, I lived in Los Angeles for a decade. Highways flow? Also, highways have tons of rules and limits that are strictly enforced. Getting on the internet should be like the DMV? Wow, where do I get in line? No, I'm really asking because all the signs are confusing and no one who works here really wants to make eye contact. When choosing your metaphor, just make sure that the whole thing helps your case. It's like saying marriage is all about a foundation that you build from, just like Jenga. I also didn't like the argument that if we abolish net neutrality and certain ISPs get preferential speeds, small internet companies won't be able to compete, which is true and shouldn't have been forced on us, but technically we can solve that by accepting slower internet. What about the little guy? Okay, let's all agree to wait an extra minute for Bob's Burgers to load. No! Oh, okay then. And finally, most controversially and ironic, coming from my own web series, I don't get hung up as much as other people do about the internet as a right. Maybe it's because I remember when it was just a quirky utility that if I timed right would allow me to load 3/4 of a picture of Cindy Crawford in a bikini before my mom needed to use the phone. But is it something that we're specifically owed? I agree we need the internet. We're at a point culturally where there's really not much we can do without it, evidenced by the fact that I was once told the best way to contact Time Warner Cable about my broken router was via their website. Look, I was disappointed by the FCC's ruling. I'm disappointed it's all about money and power, and I'm disappointed to what it's going to mean for the future of the internet. But I just wish we treated this more like a conversation and less like a civil rights issue. I don't think you should call the FCC's decision oppression if you think apartheid is a kind of fancy cheese. And that's going to be it for this month. Thank you so much for watching. I worked balls hard on this, so if you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe and share. Tell me I'm an idiot in the comments if you want. And if you're interested, check out News to Me, which is another show I do featuring comedians riffing on the news, and it's updated daily. Also, I perform stand-up comedy Saturdays at the Stand at 5:45, Saturdays at 8:30 at Climate Lounge, and January 26th at 8 p.m. at the Brooklyn House of Comedy. Now, that's going to be it. Thank you so much for watching, and stay cautiously optimistic.